Hello and welcome to NewFilmmakers Los Angeles in partnership with Movie Maker magazine. My name is Danny DeLillo. We're here at the South Park Center. I'm with Kim with her fantastic movie, The Ride. Let's take a look at the clip.
Yes, I am doing this. My God, what am I doing? This is so bad. This is not good. I'm gonna die. Hi, where are you headed?
Hi. Headed home? Arcadia?
I'm actually headed there too. Hop in?
Kim, welcome to the NewFilmmakers Los Angeles family.
Thank you.
Thank you for bringing your film to us. You know, personally, I've told you about 6 zillion times how much I loved it. But for those that haven't seen it, tell us a brief synopsis.
So The Ride is a drama about this woman, Kat. She's like in her 30s. She's driving in the middle of the night. And on her journey, she sees a teenage girl hitchhiking on the side of the road. To her best or worst interests, she decides to pick up that girl. And not even a few minutes into their journey, the girl starts acting weird. She starts referring to a sister and then mentions that the sister is in the car with them, but there is no sister in the car with them. It's just the two of them, or so you think.
It's a brilliant film. Like, I'm not, like, Kim, it's really, really good. I don't think I breathed through the whole thing because I was like, you had me on tender hooks, just not knowing what was coming next, honestly. But it was also because it was so mesmerizing just to kind of see these kind of characters unfold and engage. It's amazing sometimes when you've got characters that are so strong and you go into it, being into it really quickly. Like it's very obviously great writing. So you wrote this and obviously you starred and you did a fantastic job. Tell us a little bit about, for you, where the inspiration came for you in deciding to turn this idea into a film.
Yeah, so for anybody who's watched the film, Kat is me. I'm very much down to the flaming hot Cheetos. It's a character study of myself.
Yes.
But why it's so personal is because it is based off of my actual loss of my mother. In my early 20s, I look back and I think like, wow, I was so young. I wish I could have been a different daughter to her. I have a lot of regrets about how I would have done things differently had I known that I was going to lose her so early in my life. But I wanted to write a piece about my grief because I feel like grief is one of those things that just latches onto you, and it evolves and changes you over time.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes, like my mother died when I was 22. I'm 38.
Yeah.
And I still find myself crying thinking about memories of her.
Yeah.
So I also too wanted to talk about the thin line between, is someone having a mental breakdown or are they experiencing something paranormal? I've never had a ghostly encounter. I would love to have a ghostly encounter from one of my lost loved ones, but it's not happened for me. But after my mom died, I was always looking for signs. I still do. Like, oh my God, is my mom here? Is my dad with me? And I've never gotten like a clear sign, but I watch so much paranormal stuff. I watched this like very like trashy like paranormal medium
I'm with you.
show where it was like a guy driving a taxi and he's a medium and he'll like pick up people and like oh, your mom's with us or whatever, right? Anyway, he said something in one of these shows that really stuck with me and ultimately fueled the idea behind this movie, which was like, he was like, hey, your loved ones who've passed, they'll often like tag along with you on mundane things like driving around town and like going and picking up groceries. And I was like, oh, isn't that a sweet idea of like your loved ones being with you, driving around the car with you? And that's where this ultimately started, which was the idea of like, what if my mom is just riding with me and someone else has the capacity to see her and experience her, but I don't.
It's amazing, and it's amazing that was kind of the driving of what your character was going through. But then also you've got this other character that's entered the scene with a character that both the audience and your character can't see. right? You know, which is amazing. By the way, I'm sure there's always great snacks in your car. I was like loving that. I was like
Snack
always
pile.
got to come in your car, Kim.
I told you, it's me. It's 1-to-1.
I was like, there's definitely good snacks there. But it was amazing how you took in all those elements, something that was, you know, significantly, you know, personal to you, but probably universal to people that have been through that or experienced that as well. And then, you know, as you were kind of explaining, you went from this kind of writing this story, met with your director, and it was only then that you kind of had these twists on how you were going to kind of display it, you know, cinematically. Tell us about how you decided to, like, what is that experience like, writing something, then work with a director, and then that person directing is directing you in it? Like, how was that whole experience for you?
It was fantastic. Shout out to Christina Wire Lim. She's the most amazing director this gal could have ever asked for. She's awesome. From the moment we met, she really loved the script, but she gave me notes and she was like, hey, how about this? And of course, then you get into like production mind of like, hey, can we limit the locations that we have, right? You start thinking about budgets and like the boring stuff, but it's a challenge, right? To look at it as a writer now with a producer hat on and being like, okay, can we limit the amount of locations we have? How do we display this theme that we have going on? And anyway, she brought in a whole concept deck, and I thought, for the interview, like before we even hired her, and I was like, oh my God, this is absolutely the vibe of what we want to go for. It's part spooky, part like heart, you know, wrenching, right? And so she came in, gave notes. My producer, Amanda Aria, she also gave amazing notes. And I knew that there was going to be like an element of a spook factor in the beginning, right? Like I purposefully set it up that it's in the middle of the night. What is this woman, you know, she's out like driving, eating snacks, singing along to some yacht rock or whatever, like going through her mom's like CDs, and she sees a girl hitchhiking in the middle of the night. There's already this spook factor, right? Mm-hmm. And I'll be the first person to admit that, like, as a writer, I have an idea of like what I see happening, like story-wise, character-wise, like certain moments, but like big picture things I think I really struggle with. Mm-hmm. And that's where an amazing director comes in. Mm-hmm. I think. And the ride taught me the power of a director with the whole vision, who can read your script, see like from end to end, okay, this is how we're going to execute this story, but incorporate their own vision while making sure that the writing is honored. And I think it's been so brilliant working with Christina in that fashion because, like I said, I knew that there was going to be a spook element. But when we were getting into the editing phase and post-production, we really leaned into this jump scare that happens. The moment where, you know, there's
I still remember it. Came into my nightmares. Yeah.
It's like there's the awkward moment where like, oh, the things are starting to unravel. The audience is seeing, oh, this girl we just picked up, she might not be fully there. She might be not mentally well. And then it totally like unravels with the moment of the jump scare. And that was something that Christina purposefully wanted to put in because she was like, listen, we need to have a moment where the audience is thinking that there's something dark happening here. And then obviously.
Yeah. There was so many. I mean, that's what I couldn't take my eyes off your film because there was so many moments where, as an audience member, you gave us so much to like work out, feel, jump scares. I mean, I was just like, I mean, it was such a, from start to finish, was such a full dynamic experience as a audience member, which I think you did so well because where you think you're going, you don't always know where you're going. And I love that you kind of, as you did it was just the way it was written and the way you obviously worked with Christina, director, it was so starred, like so amazing because it's almost like we were experiencing it for the same vision and eyes, obviously, as your character, you know, which was just, we don't know what's coming next. We hope it's going to be okay. Is she going to be survive from this? Like, you know, I'm just, you know, thank goodness for a Snickers bar, I guess, you know. But how is it for you acting, you know, in this? Because obviously there's a lot of different elements there. I mean, obviously filming at night in a car as well, like, like all those things. How is it for you?
Advice to anybody watching this: don't film in Lancaster.
Oh, really? Okay.
If you have to do anything outdoors, fun fact,
Oh,
it is
yeah.
windy as hell.
Really?
It's like we were literally battling dust devils. Not good. Thankfully, I'm in the car most of it. But if you watch the film, you'll see literally sand flying around in the air for a lot of the shots. The shot where we pick up Jess, her hair is just like crazy. It looks
Goodness.
beautiful on
Yeah.
film, but that was not the intention anyway. So fun fact about that.
That's good to know.
It's so funny that you asked me this because like I often forget that I'm in this film. What does that mean? I'm not 100% sure. Maybe it's me mentally like
You were
disconnecting
in
from it.
Yeah.
I obviously was in the film, and I started out as an actor, like loving story, loving like play around, and then I really fully moved into writing. And obviously I write from a very personal experience, and the only reason I even cast myself in this was because I was like, this is so personal to me.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I'm like, yes, could I go and like go on a search for someone to match like my energy and to match like my emotion behind what I've written? But then I was like, nah, I'm gonna do it.
It's so good.
Because I think ultimately, I don't think, and I could be dead wrong, I know there's a lot of amazing actors out there, but I think ultimately, in my head, I justified it as, can someone deliver this line in the way that I actually envision it? And I was like, no, I wrote it. Like,
Yeah.
I probably would be the closest person to deliver this
Totally.
line.
And you did honestly, you did a fantastic job, and you had to play that part, honestly. But also just what you gave us, it was, because I think sometimes in these type of kind of genre, these kind of twists, you were so real in this part. Like it felt like, oh my goodness, this is how I would be if I was in this situation. Like, well, you know what I mean? Like you just hope for the best, but you're like, have I just done something wrong? You did it so it was so naturalistic. It was almost like, am I watching documentaries? This kind of stuff. So I'm glad that you obviously did. I want to say thanks obviously to your co actor that you work with, because you work so well together. It's not easy driving a car and having to like work with your actor. And how was that? I mean, even little things like that as an actor is not easy as well. How was,
No.
how's it working with her as well?
So the funniest story is that I went to a networking event, a random networking event that my actress friend was like, hey, can you come with me to this networking event? Don't worry, it's a good one, because like there's a mixture, it's not just actors. She's like, the way it works is like, I'm an actor, but I have to bring someone who's not an actor, who's in the industry, so will you be my plus one? I said, yeah, sure. And it was a brilliant networking event. I met Amanda there because she came from the documentary filmmaking background. She was at Participant for a long time. And we just connected, and she was like, oh my God, I would love to start producing stuff. And it just,
EP and then start.
we literally just started talking about like what could be produced together. So she has been an amazing resource and person and friend that I like am clinging onto for dear life. But she has been so supportive from the beginning. And then when we started reading the script together, I was like, oh, she's just like, no problem. There's so many moments where we were together last night watching the film on the big screen, and I'm like clenching her and she's like clenching me. And like, I would like squeeze her arm when like certain moments were happening for her, because like I still watch this film like years later, like 50,000 times later. And I still like am so delighted by how amazing she is. Like she really walks that line of like, oh my God, is this girl having a mental breakdown?
Yeah.
Or is she, you know what I mean? Like what is happening?
And we just, I mean, it was amazing. That was you absolutely. I'm glad you made about the fine line, because she nailed it. Like it was amazing. Both your dynamics though together. I hope you both continue to work together. Obviously, what was it like seeing it on the big screen? Because obviously your film's very active. You can feel the audience. What was it like how has it been on the big screen? I certainly loved having it last night.
I was telling my boyfriend last night, my heart was beating through my chest. Like I'm sure if like someone was looking at me, they could have seen my heart literally like underneath my shirt. But like, it's terrifying, obviously. There is something, I think that's the hardest part about a writer, being a writer, a creator, filmmaker, is putting your work out there and being like, oh my God, will people love this like I love this? Or, and then talking to another filmmaker who's in the fest, Yu Lee, after seeing her film, she watched her film, and I was like, oh my God, it was so great. And like, you know, we're talking, she's like, it's funny because I watch it and all I see are the mistakes. And I was like, I feel like that is the blessing and the curse of being a filmmaker, is that you see all the things that could have been. Don't get me wrong, I'll definitely look at the ride and being like, oh, remember, like we had to use this shot because the other shot we absolutely couldn't get. You know, it's those things. But the audience doesn't see that. The audience looks at it unbiased, and they're just seeing it for what it is. And the response has been so great. Like, I think I have a background in comedy. I come from the sketch and improv world. So like, I love laughs, give me life, you know what I mean? So clearly there are moments of levity in the ride that I was hoping would really stick the landing with the audience. Like something as subtle as the way I react to something, or like a line that happens.
Oh, you were so good. There were so many underlining moments when you just gave us so much with just your expression. I was like, oh, I'm feeling for her right now. But it was funny, and I was like, should I be laughing right now?
Yeah,
so good.
It was really great when there's like this bit in the movie where we see Jess mention the sister, right, who's in the back seat, and like my character's like, what? And then her character's like, what? Like, we're both literally like,
Yeah, I guess I'll go along with this. Yeah.
And it was so great to hear the audience also start laughing. Like, what is happening? Like, we're all like being like,
Well, that's what I said. You did so perfectly. You gave like almost like, you know, it wasn't this over dramatic like reaction what you would see in some kind of films in this genre. You know what I mean? Or go for it. You did. It was. You're great. This is great. Keep being on camera and writing. Okay. Kim, what is next? What's next?
A few things. One is an audio drama that I'm working on, a scripted podcast called Babalu, and it is another dark exploration of mother-daughter relationships. It is the pilot's out right now. It's been out for a while. I've raised money and I've had a long like development phase, and now we're in post-production finally. But it's slated to release this fall, and basically the story behind it is a daughter in her 30s. I play the daughter because I make bad decisions, but
no, that's perfect. I'm glad. You realize that in the pilot, it's not a spoiler, that she lost her mom to suicide when she was very, very young, like baby young. And in the pilot, through a chance encounter, she meets this woman who knew her mother before the mother died, and knew her as a baby, and is like, hey, I want to give you something that belonged to your mom. Turns out it's a box of audio tapes that belonged to the mom, that were the mom's audio journal. So the audience and the daughter go on this journey together, getting to know this mother through her own words. Oh, I'm ready for that now. Is it made yet? We're making it? What's going on?
It's in post-production.
It's in post-production, yes. Oh my goodness, fantastic. That sounds fast. Well, listen, whatever journey you'll take us, and I'm ready for wherever you take us next, okay? Just let me know I need to go and hide behind a pillow for a second. But let me tell you, like, one of the things that you really did in this short film is just the full longevity of a journey of it as an ordinary experience. I don't want to give it away too much, but where you led us into the ending was so touching. It was so beautiful. It was so magical. It was so surreal, and such a wonderful full circled moment. So I'm just so glad that you're a filmmaker. So thank you very much. So thank you for the ride. We're looking forward to the next ride journey you're taking us on, and welcome to NewFilmmakers.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.